So I did a thing lately and bought my ultimate dream car. And unfortunately, I set the bar pretty high, but it wasn't as high when I was a kid. First time seeing one, I was 16 years old at a Barrett-Jackson auction, and I saw it. A 300 SL Gullwing. The beautiful doors, the iconic styling. Really was the world's first supercar. People argue the Lamborghini Miura is the world's first supercar. No, it's the Gullwing. Originally, it was a race car, but Max Hoffman, an importer of European cars in the US, really thought Mercedes needed to make a production car, and he thought he could sell every single one. Turns out he was right. It was a smash hit for Mercedes, and the Gullwings themselves built from 1954 to 1957. Then they did roadsters after that, but really the world's first supercar, a total icon. And I just remember being 16 years old and just enamored with the car. And it sold for $300,000 back then. I thought, one day if I work really hard, I can buy one of those, sure. But as time went on, they got more expensive. $1 million, $2 million. And then most recently, there was a junkyard car, the Rudy Klein collection, an alloy body car, $10 million for a 300 SL. And I thought, well, one day that's never going to happen. Especially as I started working for Barrett-Jackson. The collector car auction I went to as a kid, where we were seeing big numbers. I think there was one for $3.5 million that wasn't an alloy body car. And I thought, well, definitely missed the boat on that. It'll never happen. But that was sort of my goal when I bought the Bugatti Veyron. Following in Ed Bullion's footsteps, I decided to get myself a Veyron, and I realized pretty quickly that, I'm not a Veyron guy. I'm not as politically savvy as Ed to get repairs done reasonably and well connected. And yeah, I was facing the first service with my Bugatti and thought, I'm probably not this guy. I'm probably not. So I was actually trying to sell the car. And reached out to the person who sold it to me initially and was hoping that I could get out of the car and the equity that I had in it, just have something for cash. And I thought the car was going to be a Ford GT, 05, 06. This dealership had a big selection of them. Seemed like a slam dunk deal, but the owner of this dealership just totally ghosted me. I was texting, phone calling, like a crazy girlfriend getting ghosted, just not leaving this guy alone. And I did not get the hint that he did not want this car back. Thankfully, this is where Ed Bullion comes in, and he's tried brokering my car to some people who was sniffing around. And he found one person that wanted it, Matt Ivanhoe, the cultivated collector, but he didn't want to buy it outright. And being a shrewd negotiator himself, he said, well, I really don't have the money to just buy your car outright. I'd like to trade for something, and I have the car that you want. And believe it or not, it was a 300 SL Gullwing. 1955, silver with black interior. It was out of the state and hadn't run in over 10 years, or sort of barely ran. It was incredible. The goal for me was to get out of the big car payment and be more reasonable and just, be in hoopties forever with YouTube and not chase these multi-million-dollar cars again. But it was just an offer that I couldn't refuse. Basically trading straight across a Veyron for a Gullwing. I threw the Ferrari 599 in there as well, just so I didn't put in any money at all and to get out of another car payment to make it seem more reasonable. But basically traded off Ferrari and Bugatti for a 300 SL. It didn't run though. That was the problem. So the goal was to avoid service in the Bugatti and not spend $100,000, but then I get a car that needs $100,000 plus in service to get running again. But with this car, it was a lot more straightforward because it was built in the 1950s. The first full production fuel-injected car and a lot of other little things, and that was the big issue with it. The fuel injection was all wonky. It had several leaks, the typical stuff of reviving a car that had been sitting for a long time. All pretty straightforward, but because these are very expensive cars, the prices on the parts are pretty expensive. And for years, I had been going to the Mercedes Classic Center, basically when it opened 20 years ago in Irvine, California, and dreaming one day of having a Gullwing go through there. And I knew that was the place where I wanted the car to go. And I've actually developed a relationship with them over the years where they invited me out to drive a few of their cars, including in the Mille Miglia in Italy. And I knew that can't be my last experience. The only way for me to do that again would be in my own car. So they agreed to take it in and look it over for free for a video. And it was, well, it needed a lot. Typical of a car sitting for a very long time. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here because there was a bit of a nail-biter moment because Matt Ivanhoe, cultivated collector, wanted to inspect the Bugatti Veyron as well. And so the deal was pending an inspection that was favorable on my Bugatti. He got it and he inspected it and he called me up and he said, hey, your Bugatti's leaking oil, it's leaking coolant, and it's leaking transmission fluid, and it needs another 8 hours of labor just to diagnose all of these leaks at Bugatti's labor rates. And that was a little scary because the transmission had been out of the car on mine because of what they thought was a transmission failure. It turned out to be just the shifter. and then put back in. And so who the heck knows what was going on? The thing is, there were no leaks that were hitting the ground. These belly pans were a great little saucepan, if you will, of fluids mixing together to hold it all. And I never saw a drop on the ground, so I was pretty surprised. But when they dropped the belly pans off, oh my God. So yeah, it was a big nail biter, but Matt Ivanhoe took sympathy on me and said, hey, I'm gonna take the car anyway. The deal's done. But you need to take the Mercedes as is. And I was like, sure, yeah, okay, definitely. Because imagine if the deal didn't go, and then I get back a Bugatti where I know it's leaking oil, coolant, and transmission fluid, and then I have to disclose that to everybody, facing potentially now a multi-six-figure bill. Probably not, and Matt's very creative and connected, so he'll be able to fix the car much more reasonably. I think it's advertised for sale now, and it's going to be all surfaced up and wonderful. And it's been helpful for him that most recently, a similar spec car to mine just sold for $2 million, so that may have been a short sale for me, especially with Ed Bullion doing his next thing like he did with Murcielagos, riding the values of Veyrons up. So probably in 5 years when they're $5-10 million cars, I'll be looking like a complete idiot. But doesn't matter to me. In the near term, I got my dream car. And we started into it at the Mercedes Classic Center. So it needed numerous leaks fixed. It needed brakes and the fuel system gone through. And they were able to do all of that within a week so I could participate in the 300 SL rally in Utah and Colorado. And it was so amazing to see this car transformed in such a short period of time and then be able to drive it 1,000 miles. And it was everything that I wanted it to be. I fell in love with the car. It's one of those meet your heroes, and they're better in person. And obviously I'd driven a few before, but being my car and in that beautiful setting, it was incredible. It's just incredible. But I broke it. I drove for 20 miles with the handbrake on the second to last day and cooked these brake drums that cost $15,000 for the whole set. So I burned up the last two that were brand new. And then my freshly refinished wheels, I had cooked those to where basically the paint was boiling and bubbling off and turned yellow. There's no warning light to tell you that handbrake's on. And also my oil cooler had exploded, so they bypassed that. So I thought I was smelling like burn off from the oil in the engine bay, but no, I was smelling my brakes getting destroyed. So the car after that had to go back to the Classic Center to fix the oil cooler, to fix a few other little minor things like some fuel system stuff. And then what I did to the car, which was another $15,000 in damage, unfortunately. So it went back to the Classic Center for another month, and I took another lump, a mostly self-inflicted wound, but then it was finished again, and this time very sorted out. And I wanted to do a road trip, not cross-country again, but just in California. And I knew the one place I needed to stop off was Jay Leno's garage, because when I bought the car, he called me up out of the blue and was very complimentary on the video and the car, sort of like an attaboy kind of thing, which was very nice of him. Obviously, he doesn't have to do that. And he invited me out to his garage when the car was done, where I could line it up next to his car, which was a barn find he got out of a shipping container. Found the engine, put it back together, and he very humbly told me that he had a 300 SL Gullwing, and I was like, well, of course I know. Over the last 15 years, I've watched every single Gullwing video he had, probably multiple times because I'm so obsessed with the cars. So I had to take that opportunity to go to Jay Leno's garage, line the cars up. Jay drove my car, and he's very complimentary. He gave me a few tips as far as ownership, since he's had one for decades, but also one of his first jobs was at a Mercedes dealer when these were just normal used cars. So he's been obsessed with Mercedes for basically all of his life, just like me. So we have a lot in common in that sense. And it was so cool to have a car where things go right. So in the video, I'm thinking, nobody's gonna watch this because everything's going right with this car. Nothing's exploding or blowing up. And usually when I have a good time in a car, nobody cares. So I drove down the coast and then visited Doug Demuro, because there were several videos where Doug and I were talking about ultimate dream cars. And one was the Carrera GT for him, and for me it was the 300 SL Gullwing. We talked about this in the old Auto Trader videos in Atlanta 7 or 8 years ago. So the hope was to line it up with his Carrera GT, my 300 SL Gullwing, pat each other on the back, say, oh, we made it. But his Carrera GT had broken down a couple of weeks before, so that didn't work out for him. But it worked out great for me in the video. I think it's knocked on the door of 1 million views at this point. A very pleasant surprise, because most of the time people love to see me in pain and misery buying absolute junk. So very nice in that sense that my audience really enjoyed me getting my ultimate dream car. I didn't expect that. I sort of did it for me and documented it in the videos, and went a little over the top as far as production because it was just such a big deal for me and I wanted to document it for me, for posterity. And now after almost 4 months of ownership, my Gullwing finally gets to come home, hopefully under the tree for Christmas. And it's finally gonna feel real. So, a little update, the Gullwing did make it home, and I did put it under the tree in the living room just to show off. Look at me and my Gullwing in my house and my Christmas tree. And, well, when it came time to pull it out, something really, really bad happened. Really bad. I decided to push it out, and I didn't think about how much farther the door sticks out from the car, and yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh no.
I'm at the Lars Anderson Auto Museum, home of America's oldest car collection, and they are holding a sweepstakes where one of you is going to win this Porsche 992. You can enter at the link in the description below, and you will have an amazing car, but much more importantly, you'll be helping keep America's car culture alive. The Lars Anderson Auto Museum is the hub of New England car culture, and that is why every week here on the grounds, there's something amazing happening. So if you're in the Boston area, come say hey, and either way, enter to win this thing because it's awesome.